Lucas Matiz and John Molina Jr. Matiz withstood brutal knockdowns from Molina before, and then he came back to drop Molina in the 8th, 10th, and 11th rounds. Lucas Matiz was the only opponent who made Molina swallow blood. In the corner, the doctor checked and said Molina had a big head wound that needed to be treated, but all the doctor got in return was the words, "Shut up."
Double jab, there's a jab, and a right hand to that jab. That's quick action here between months are getting thus far as the jab. Jab right, Batista getting it on here.
I'm loving it.
Not exactly in a... Batista in the black with light.
The nerve damage Molina suffered in his left eye, but if that's not bad enough, he had 17 staples to the left side of his head to close up a nasty gash he got in a vicious slugfest that he lost by 11th round knockout.
Pressure on Molina as we go to round 6. Uppercut followed by the left hand by Batista getting on the inside, but being a 10-8 round with the knockdowns from Molina. And they are...
Gervonta Davis and Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios was more than a game-fighting champion. Tank just had too many explosives for him. Gervonta Davis seemed to have a hard time facing the Tank. However, encouragement from teammates in the corner created a tremendous momentum, causing him to break through in the final moments of the match. Davis produced a fight-altering knockdown before closing out the show with a scintillating 11th round TKO of Barrios to become the new WBA regular super lightweight champion of the world at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, now we will know what happens when Davis hits.
Floyd Mayweather and Andre Berto. And the fight against Andre Berto was really his last. Floyd Mayweather is ending a boxing career of 49 wins and no losses. In the video, you can see just how confident Mayweather was throughout the fight. The clip was taken moments before the final round of his career, showing Mayweather and his father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., interacting in the corner. Mayweather thanks his father, and Mayweather Sr. tells him that the fight is already his. Not long after, Mayweather sank to his knees in the middle of the ring, celebrating the 49th win of his career.
Everything working, baby. Everything working. Good. I got you. Okay.
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 2.
What he did in the first one. Big right. Already right hand. This is the rematch. Big right hand. Entertaining ring walks. A right hand.
Wilder spent a terrifying night with Tyson Fury in their rematch. Fury begins the round with a left hand to put Wilder back in the corner. Wilder's in trouble. Fury opens up a barrage of shots, and it's over.
There's a jab. Big right hand.
Hand for Deontay Wilder. We're saying it time and time again.
A right hand that connects by Fury.
Ooh, was Deontay Wilder
A right
that win the first couple rounds?
A right hand down.
White tiles are also launched from Wilder's corner. The referee waves off the fight, giving Fury victory. Perhaps this got Wilder lashed out a lot in his corner.
And Fury eats it well, but back comes Fury. Wilder's legs are not underneath him. Wilder is exhausted. Fury down.
Dylan White and Mariusz Wach. White had a thrilling match with Wach at Diriyah Arena, Saudi Arabia. However, his strange expression in the corner is what's of interest. Perhaps due to the harshness of the game, White uses his irritable eyes to look at his teammates. Fortunately, White still wins by unanimous decision in the end. Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev. Ward had a tough first round but survived a second round knockdown. In the corner, his teammates give great motivation, words of encouragement, urging him to return and defeat Sergey Kovalev.
Got him. Look at me. Look. Look at me.
Смотри, Уорда.
All that walking to you, you know what we're here for. You understand? You know what we're here for. You great. Don't worry about a knockdown. Don't even entertain it. You understand?
And he did it by a tight, unanimous decision Saturday at T-Mobile Arena. Ward took Kovalev's 3 sanctioning body light heavyweight titles with the victory. Shane Mosley and Antonio Margarito.
Off the bat is if Mosley can reach Margarito with jabs.
Fights, and Margarito will have to be wary of that. And Shane Mosley, although he has grace, can tend to be a dirty fighter at times.
Oh, good side of the chin. Mosley has cut out.
Shane Mosley had an explosive game, but behind the success was also teammates who also encouraged him from the corner. Mosley is landing more power punches, and Margarito's down and almost out. He barely gets to his feet and legs are weak, but he made it back to the corner. He continued the beating in the ninth as Margarita was pinned against the ropes. As Mosley poured on the punches, the ref jumps in and stops the fight. Michael Moorer and Vaughn Bean. A trainer for IBF heavyweight champion Michael Moorer, Atlas is practiced to having to be creative when it comes to motivating his sluggish fighter. And having exhausted more traditional methods of inspiration, the phone at ringside at the Las Vegas Hilton as Moorer casually toys with the overmatched Vaughn Bean. Between rounds 8 and 9, Atlas went to his bag of tricks. Out came the cell phone, and as would be revealed later, on the line from Florida came Moorer's crying son. Moorer trudged back out and did little more than he had before the contrived phone call and won by majority decision. Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is no mere mortal, and his career will undoubtedly be remembered among the pantheons of greats who've graced the sport. But which victories are his legacy before the climactic trilogy with Deontay Wilder? Tyson Fury versus Steve Cunningham.
Fury working on the jab.
And now getting properly prepared for these fights. Good shot by Steve.
The Gypsy King makes his American debut in stunning style, climbing off the canvas to win. This fight was billed as Fury's toughest test. Cunningham was a former two-time world cruiserweight champion, but was notoriously tough, having served in the U.S. Navy for 4 years. The youngster used the shot as a motivation to bully and dominate the smaller foe, followed by a sickening right hook 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the 7th round, ending the contest.
Back in the second round by Steve Cunningham. And Cunningham with that reach advantage as he
Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko.
Sehr lassiv dort. Von meinem Hilfswerfen von
This was Fury's 24th fight of his career, and his life changed forever after he beat Vladimir Klitschko. And the reign of the Ukrainian boxer also came to an end. On fight night, Fury entered the game well. He used speed to do a lot of dodging, as well as dodging the powerful hook and right-hand attack from Dr. Steelhammer. Klitschko appeared to fight more aggressively, but the Gypsy King did the same and traded punches with him. And when the bell sounded, most people felt Fury had done more than enough.
Also ein kurzes Intermezzo hier in Runde 3. Schulbuchmäßig. Weiter.
Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk has been one of the most dominant fighters in boxing over the past few years. The Ukrainians managed to take over 2 divisions while getting better following each performance. Before becoming a legend in both weight classes, Usyk left an impressive mark with explosive fights. Oleksandr Usyk and Maris Briedis. Usyk's win over Briedis in the semifinals of the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight Tournament was considered one of the hardest fights of his career. It was an enthralling encounter with great skill, great heart, and great action from both champions, with little between to separate them. Usyk's performance drew praise from many people. Oleksandr Usyk just about did enough to win a majority-point decision and a second World Cruiserweight title. Oleksandr Usyk and Derek Chisora. It's fight night and Chisora is aggressive on the front foot, maintaining a high work rate. But Usyk is able to control the pace using superior movement and footwork to lead with jabs and land combinations from angles on the outside, outboxing Chisora and escaping his attacks. Chisora ups his output and remains on the offensive, pressing forward and successfully lands a series of hard right hands and body shots, with Usyk responding with several heavy flurries and scoring stiff blows repeatedly. All three judges unanimous, giving the fight in favor of Usyk.
He hasn't been able to bring that pressure on Chisora. Because Chisora for lead right leg where he always feels like he's in range here.
Joe Joyce versus Bermane Stiverne. Joe Joyce and Bermane Stiverne both got off to a fast start, with Joyce throwing a ton of punches in the first round and Stiverne doing his best to land a big counter shot, which he did on a few occasions. But Juggernaut Joe proved capable of taking the shots from Stiverne, and the veteran's gas tank soon emptied. With that win, Joyce retained the Commonwealth heavyweight title and now says he has his sights set on climbing the ranking. Deontay Wilder. Wilder's reputation was built as he repeatedly and brutally knocked down heavyweight opponents. With a strong and wild fighting style, the Alabama boxer is dubbed the one-hitter quitter with an impressive right arm. Before standing at the top of boxing in a draw with Tyson Fury, Wilder had many impressive victories, such as this one against Luis Ortiz. Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz won. Heavyweight champ Deontay Wilder, nearly knocked out and out on his feet in the 7th round, hangs on for dear life and comes back 3 rounds later and knocked out the Cuban slugger Luis Ortiz. It was a vicious right uppercut by Wilder that ended it for Ortiz before referee David Fields stops it with 2:05 in the round. In the rematch, Wilder breaks open a one-sided fight where he was being outboxed in round 7 with one straight right hand that finished Ortiz in a devastating knockout in their pay-per-view rematch at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Adrian Bronner versus Marcos Maidana.
A few minutes later.
Before the fight against Maidana, Bronner overflows with confidence and at press conferences with defiant statements and his swagger face.
A couple of left hooks to the body by Maidana, a couple of right uppercuts, the last one just And it's all Marcos.
Broner opened the fight in an extremely confident fashion as he taunted Madonna and acted impolitely. Broner's crude gestures just fired up Madonna, who went on to punish his opponent. In the second round, the Argentinian sent Broner into the ropes before flooring him.
Browns, and there's the right hand lead by Madonna that sticks another right hand.
It's Florian Marcoux versus Tommy Broadbent. The audience both cried and laughed when witnessing the fight between Tommy Broadbent and Florian Marcoux. Perhaps because he knew his opponent was highly appreciated, Tommy decided to develop a style like no other.
"12 seconds later."
Instead of focusing on the competition, he used all sorts of tricks to tease his opponent, but it had no effect for him. Tommy received several blows to the midsection and then collapsed. Shainchaka Zoltseg versus Ma Jiawin. Zoltseg knocked out Ma Jiawin in just 54 seconds in an explosive bout that had the crowd screaming. Still, the action wasn't over even after the referee stepped in to stop the fight. Ma, extremely dazed after being knocked out, grabs the referee's legs and attempts a knee bar thinking he was Zoltseg. There's Joe Murray and Rashid Kassim. To defeat Joe Murray, Kassim probably used a lot of his confidence to provoke and make jokes at the opponent.
A few moments later.
A nice straight right-hand counter from Murray, and now it's Kassim who's in trouble.
He threw up his extreme swagger face and did weird things. Perhaps he thought these antics would discourage Murray, but the reality was contrary to his wishes. A huge, damaging punch right to the face was the stoppage of Kassim's swagger. It's Felix Trinidad versus Ricardo Mayorga. Whether or not Mayorga had the skill to compete with the very best didn't prevent him from displaying arrogance. He punched himself in the face to provoke, and it looked like Trinidad dared to punch him. In addition, he also has a very bizarre body sway dance to tease his opponents. However, even doing all his shaking, he was knocked out by Trinidad. Mike Plania versus Julio Buitrago. In the match against Plania, Buitrago was overconfident and acted provocatively. He reacts to his opponent's successive blows by slamming his hand into his own stomach as to invite Plania to rush forward and hit him. Well, Plania satisfied him with a final blow that sent him free-falling to the floor. Diego De La Hoya versus Rocco Santamaro. In the match against Santamaro, De La Hoya satisfied the audience with punches smashing Maro's arrogance. During the press conference, Maro used his overconfidence to try and overwhelm Hoya.
Look at Diego De La Hoya. Doesn't look like a very powerful guy, but he is the puncher in this contest.
Like
When he entered the match, he still kept on with his arrogance and danced like he had the victory in hand. His mouth was wide open as if he was ready to shout at his opponent to come and hit him, and he got his karma with a punch right into the mouth and fell on his back on the canvas.
Sort of lunged forward with him. Covered in that right side. More body work from De La Hoya.
Charlie Ellen versus Deontay Wilder. Boxing superstar Wilder made headlines in May after beating up a YouTube troll in real life at the Hollywood boxing gym. Charlie Zelenoff likes to boast about his boxing skills and dared Wilder to a fight. Zelenoff allegedly had been harassing Wilder and his family for years.
Come to LA, I'm the champion, you're Hey, I sent you my last fight, kickboxer, 28 seconds, my You want to be next? Let's get it on right now. Clown. Hey, listen, 6'4", 300-pounder.
A few moments later.
And this time, the Bronze Bomber got angry and answered the challenger with punches. Zelenoff ran away in fear, but his slow speed didn't help. Perhaps that's a worthy outcome for a troublemaker.
Hey, get up. Don't stop, man. Yeah. All that like, huh? Rematch, let's go. No, not right now. It is gonna be right now. It's on where I'm here. Don't you elbow. Don't you ever say you're gonna take. You can't come here doing this stuff no more, man. You're gonna get killed, boy.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Next, it's Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott. The hard-hitting Wilder lands a left hook midway through the first round before helping his opponent to the canvas with a big straight right hand, leaving Scott in no condition to continue. Deontay Wilder and Sergey Lakovich. Deontay Wilder's destructive punching power annihilates Lakovich. Wilder unleashes that ferocious right hand on the 43-year-old's left temple and puts him crashing down to the canvas. Lakovich is left on the floor convulsing and lost control of legs and arms. Deontay Wilder and Dustin Nichols. Nichols, who weighs in at 398 pounds, isn't very mobile. He decides to stay on his stool at the end of 3 minutes with Wilder. Wilder launches a series of brutal stabs at the fat man, and there was no response from the opponent, and Nichols was added to Wilder's list of first-half victims. Deontay Wilder and Audley Harrison. Wilder waited for the right opportunity to unleash that ferocious punching power. Right in the first round, Harrison backed into the corner. Bronze Bomber immediately pouncing on his prey. He lands a big right to rock the Brit. Wilder then unloads massive power punches that even had him drop into one knee while he continued to punish the helpless Harrison. Harrison eventually slides down to the canvas, and the referee, Terry O'Connor, intervenes as he pulls the Alabama-born star off his opponent. Deontay Wilder versus Kurtzon Manswell. Wilder not sticking around long for this one as he blows out Manswell in the first round of the main event. Wilder scoring several knockdowns in the fight, flooring Manswell early in the bout and never looking back. Manswell struggles to get his legs under him, making him a sitting duck until the home state favorite knocks him down for good with courtesy of a big left hook.
started. And terrific power. Even when he squared up, Paulie, he was able to knock him.
Deontay Wilder and David Long. The first minute of the fight was expected, both fighters testing their jab, feeling each other out, Wilder looking far more convincing, and his right hand even more convincing as he repeatedly jabbed away at Long. He was lining up that right hand, which he fired from his lats like a bow and arrow. Long's chin was at the target, and Wilder hits the bullseye. Deontay Wilder and Danny Sheehan. Wilder is 9 inches taller than Sheehan, and he made the height difference count, to say the least. As well as the height difference, there was a massive difference in the power of these two fighters. The jab unsettled Sheehan, and the right hand Wilder swings from down near his right knee puts him to sleep quicker than a dose of general anesthetic. Let's look at the latest, Deontay Wilder and Robert Helenius. But Wilder fires a short right that catches Helenius clean and puts him out cold. And he stayed down on the canvas for several minutes before finally leaving the ring under his own power. Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale. Wilder brutally dispatched Breazeale in style to retain his WBC heavyweight title. Dominic was brave and was about to punch Wilder right in the kisser butt. The crowd erupted as the then undefeated former world champion floors his mandatory challenger in the 3rd minute of the first round.
The finish. Bang. Good night.
Breazeale stood for a split second, and his mind took a moment to register what had just hit him, and his body crashed to the ground like a sack of potatoes.
Well, boom!
Then it's Ace Ibanez and Jupiter C. Jupiter C has no fighting experience, but he decides to participate in this fight to grow his online audience. But there's still a pretty harsh price to pay.
I'm getting knocked out. Holy shit, I'm getting knocked out.
He got some inspiration from Mayweather in his defensive style. He starts by a jab at Jupiter, and then Jupiter got angry because of getting hit so much, and he tries to go after Ace. The challenger almost twisted his ankle. He tried to throw punches with no technique, but Ace's last right hand was a little too heavy for Jupiter. Ace seems to be very satisfied in taking down his reckless opponent.
He's just standing there. He doesn't care that he's in the corner. He's posted up. There you go. There you go. Keep going.
Few minutes later.
Oh my God.
I just ended this guy. Man, I'm kind of mad because
Bodybuilder Rambo Guns challenges pro boxer Alan Green. In this fight, we see a bodybuilder who goes by the name of Rambo Guns, and he tries to fight pro boxer Alan Green. Although he dares to go up against a pro boxer, his technique is terrible. Green bloodies up the bodybuilder here, displaying technique and experience is way more important than big muscles, and that's just really for show. Rambo Guns gets absolutely destroyed, which should really come as no surprise.
So what, you've been boxing 3 weeks?
Oh. There you go. I feel like you almost have it.
Go out the way you came in.
A street guy challenge 14-year-old boxing amateur fighter. So a cocky street guy says he can knock out anybody in front of him. So the instructor decides to put the 14-year-old boxing amateur fighter Omar up there to fight. The street guy starts by acting like this is an easy match. He does a few silly moves you see in the cartoon. In contrast, Omar never stops taking the fight seriously. So he got 2 quick punches in and then knocked him down with a devastating left hook. It seems like he's lost in the dilemma. That's probably karma for bossy people. Wing Chun instructor challenges a pro boxer. As an instructor of Chinese martial art, Wing Chun wanted to challenge a professional boxer to show martial arts is a good discipline to learn. But that didn't go well for him. The Wing Chun master extends his hand all the way out and puts them right in the face of the boxer, but the strength seems to be more critical in this battle. The boxer ends the fight by throwing a punch with a full range of motion. KSI team versus pro boxer Vidal Riley in training.
A few inches later.
Jesus! The movement's insane.
During a KSI team boxing practice session with professional boxer Vidal Riley, it seems KSI's teammate makes a wrong decision. He steps into the ring to face Riley but produced nothing but missed punches. When he was attacked, he got out quickly and never looked back.
Bum, he's dancing on it.
YouTuber Christian Adam G challenges a heavyweight boxer. Christian Adam G decides he'll challenge a heavyweight boxer, and this YouTuber is a welterweight but decided to go heavyweight. Big mistake. Obviously, it's a sparring session, but the pro boxer is throwing some good body shots, and Christian's just trying to run around. And and also Adam threw some low blows, which woke up the boxer. He decided to end the fight by throwing a few punches to the face. That made Christian lose that smile pretty quickly.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Next, what about this one? Derek Chisora and Dylan White. Chisora picked up a table and launched it at the head of Dylan White as bad blood reached jaw-dropping new levels at a press conference. But White responded with a satisfying knockout in the 11th round of the confrontation.
Guy, would you want to threaten my life? Hey, Gary, you're Gary, you understand? Hey, you're
Derek Chisora came out swinging in the opener as expected, but Dylan White counters and appears to buzz the older man with a couple of solid right hands.
Chisora again, and White answers, said Derek Chisora. Even they,
you know, it's very even. There's still a few.
Oleksandr Usyk and Marco Huck, September 2017.
Man who resides here in Berlin, but again he sees it.
Usyk pounded Marco Huck and stopped him at 212 in the 10th round at Max Schmeling Hall, Berlin, Germany. Usyk landed at will from the opening bell with power shots from all angles. Huck threw one punch at a time, but it wasn't enough for Usyk. The Ukrainian answered with continuous punches and dealt great damage. He lowered his massive arm to the head and torso, stunning his opponent.
Such proud defiance in a...
After Usyk's combinations, there's little to no response from Huck until referee Robert Bird stops the fight in the 10th round. Oleksandr Usyk and Tony Bellew, November 2018. Oleksandr Usyk retains his cruiserweight championships with a devastating knockout of Tony Bellew at Manchester Arena.
Round distance.
The opening rounds were a firefight with waves of attacks from both sides. They were hit and fired off counterattacks that spurred and enthralled the crowd. Usyk danced around like a teenager for every second of the fight. The Ukrainian overpowered Bellew and forced him back into the ropes several times. The end comes courtesy of a scintillating two-punch combination punctuated by a big straight left hand, sending Bellew crashing to the canvas with a bloody face in the 8th round. Oleksandr Usyk and Anthony Joshua, September 2021. Usyk improves to a 19th consecutive win, while Joshua tastes defeat in front of a home crowd of 68,000 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. With good technique and skillful feet, Usyk could stay away from the big Joshua power shots and jump in with double jabs. The Ukrainian dominated most of the fight, rocking Joshua in the 3rd and 11th round with devastating punches.
Joshua there. Good right hand though from Joshua.
It's the 12th round, and Usyk ends the battle with a barrage of power shots that sent Joshua to the ropes on unsteady legs.
Sweet science. The art of painting and the lateral movement changing angle.
Now let's move to Anthony Joshua. Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr., December 2019.
The pride of Mexico.
This was a rematch between Joshua and Ruiz, and it took place in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia. On the night, Joshua boxed a discipline fight, keeping Ruiz at a distance with his jab and using lateral movement to defend. AJ starts well, landing a sharp right hand that cut Ruiz to the left of his eye.
It's nice to see that. Always wanted to get the last.
The Mexican has some success when he stuns Joshua to the head and body, but Joshua remained firmly in control of the action. And he's winner via a unanimous decision to reclaim the unified heavyweight title.
A couple of those jabs come in from there.
Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Povetkin, September 2018. Anthony Joshua retained the heavyweight titles in a fight against Oleksandr Povetkin at Wembley Stadium. Opening rounds with more of a feeling out, with Joshua utilizing jabs. AJ cuts Povetkin with a right and used the jab more effectively. Then the British boxer continues to get fits with the left hook uppercut combination. It's getting to the point that Joshua needs to think about stopping the Russian by devastating jabs and shots to the head and body.
I'm going to answer that. Yes, now on his heels.
After round 7, it's knockout time. Joshua dropped Povetkin with a vicious right hand to seal the pulverizing TKO victory at 159 into the 7th. Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko, April 2017. Joshua again winning by TKO in a high-drama contest against Vladimir Klitschko. In the first 4 rounds, both fighters were fighting close to the vest and cautious. Then Joshua throws a barrage of wild punches, getting enraged and counterattacking with rabbit punches. AJ then put together a few small, powerful combinations to exhaust his opponent. Moments later, he tried to end the fight by swinging for the bleachers with a few right hooks and managed to back Klitschko into the ropes, where he again sent a barrage of punches with no reply. The referee then concluded that Klitschko had taken enough and stopped the fight. Joshua and Carlos Takam on October 2017. Joshua claims a 10th round stoppage win over Carlos Takam after a brutal battle in front of 75,000 fans at Principality Stadium.
It's a horrendous cut, to be fair to Carlos Takam.
Joshua increases his punches and more body shots, causing his opponent to be unable to counterattack in the opening rounds. Then Takam receives a cut above the right eye from AJ's consecutive wild hooks in the 4th round, and in the final moments, Joshua lands a solid counter left hook, which causes him to stumble and touch the canvas with his right glove.
They were hurtful punches from Joshua. Stubborn, brave.
It's round 10, and Joshua lands several unanswered punches on Takam, prompting the referee to wave off the fight.
Phil Edwards, very experienced referee, having a look at these.